Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon. RB.
Hello. RB is here.
How
I wasn't
you?
sure. I thought, I'll you guys cover the intro.
No,
we are all here.
This is the trio. We'll do a little kind of intro into today. It'll be a little bit of a different live today.
Yeah.
We teased it out, I think it was it yesterday, RB?
Yeah.
Or Saturday?
It was Saturday.
Over the weekend, yeah.
Saturday. Yeah, we teased it out that today we actually wanted to be a little bit more focused on a topic, which we don't normally do, but I kind of like the,
don't normally
the
do
format of that. Maybe doing some topic that we discuss and interact with you guys, and then open up the latter half hour to Q&A. But no surprise, we're talking about free club fittings.
Yes.
Yep.
So for those of you who don't know, Ryan early last week.
Almost a couple weeks ago now,
Is
I
it
think.
really?
Yeah.
Well, almost a couple of weeks ago. That's shocking to me. Was invited to go on the My Golf Spy podcast.
It went live this past Tuesday.
Okay, so there you go.
Yep. What's the podcast called? It's called
No Putts Given.
No Putts Given. I nearly said no laying up. No Putts Given. That's what it is. So had a one-on-one with Adam, owner of My Golf Spy.
Yep.
Kind of contested the topic of should club fittings be free, and obviously TXG they're not. But we're kind of discussing not things purely from a TXG standpoint, but conceptually what that means
for the whole industry, basically.
Yeah. I think we wanted to hear it from you guys, and we wanted to open that up and discuss it a little bit more, and see if we can strip it back. So you listened to bits on the weekend.
Mm-hmm. I sure did.
Curious in your take. Obviously, my take is what it is.
Yeah, of course.
Ryan's given his opinion with Adam, which I think was great. It was a good debate. It was a very good debate. What did you think?
I think overall, what I saw the most, even in comments and stuff, was a lot of people chiming in with kind of your old adages like, you get what you pay for with these types of sessions. The value of someone's knowledge is worth money.
Sure.
A professional who's had training and has to maintain a certain level of ability deserves to be paid for their time and not, kind of rolled into an expense as, that doesn't really work as a business model. Yeah. So I think I'm on that boat for sure. And if you look at other kind of industries, it can be a bit hit and miss. I think I saw a few people talking about like sales associates in other industries close and stuff like that. I think golf is too specific for that. There's so much technical knowledge that's necessary, so much product knowledge that's necessary to get an actually really good fitting. You have to know hundreds and hundreds of different clubs and shafts like the back of your hand. Or you're going to encyclopedia
style knowledge
and ready to execute at all times. So my reaction to it is no. I don't think you should be ever going and expecting a free fitting. I understand there are free fittings at certain places, and that is what it is. I think you have to lower your expectations at that point because it's unlikely that employee is receiving like a lesson revenue arrangement, whereas they're probably just on a wage and they're probably just working at a big box store, and you're going to kind of get what you get.
I think that's a great point. I mean, I'm just kind of watching the comments as you're chatting there, and Guy or Guy, maybe potentially, I'm not sure if it's Guy or Guy, saying if you go to purchase a pair of shoes, you don't pay for the fitting, and I think that's where it's not really it's not comparable. It's not comparable. It's not really relevant. The sort of depth of knowledge to put together components, analyze the golf swing, such a fast moving discipline.
Also the amount of time. The fitting is anywhere from an hour to 3 hours you're spending with someone. So if it takes you 3 hours to pick out a pair of shoes, I don't think that's exactly the normal transaction that occurs. So I can see both sides of it because golf is very expensive, and I can understand people's frustration. I want to get fit. Here's another thing I have to spend money on. But I would say the same thing to anybody. Do you work for free? Do you own a store? Do you work for a corporation? Do you expect your knowledge and expertise to be given for free? I would say you don't, and you wouldn't be happy if that was the case. So there's value in it. I should say, if you find value in the fitting process, you should be willing to pay for it. If you don't, then that's probably why you think it should be free.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, exactly. And guys, I just want to quickly touch on this before we get back into it. Lots of you are putting in questions in the normal format. We are going to split the session today. The first 30 minutes are going to be based on this topic. So don't if you've got a question, save it for the second half of the show.
If you have like a shaft question or something, save
if it's
that
something
for later.
specific to yourself, save that for the second half of the show. We won't get to it right now.
Yep.
I don't want it to get lost in amongst the other questions, because lots of people are still commenting on the free fit topic.
Definitely.
So save that for about 1 p.m.
Perfect.
We'll get into that, but maybe just after 1, because we do have a guest coming on the show.
Yes, we do.
So RB, I want to kind of put it over to you. How did it? I want to hear, like, what did you think? How did it go? The debate and that type of thing. What was your take?
It was good. I don't think we were going to change anyone's mind, really.
Each other's mind, yeah.
And that's fine. Like, that's something that, like, I understand. And a lot of times they weren't going to change my mind.
No.
So
Yeah.
I didn't expect it kind of to be vice versa. So with that in mind, I think the biggest thing is the fact that I understand from, like, an idealistic standpoint of view, like, yeah, it'd be great. But the economics of, like, our industry don't work like that, because demos don't come for free.
Yep.
All of those things don't come for free. And
Yeah.
even from, like, experience in the big box world, even going back over a decade now at this point, is that those stores, even like those companies, had to spend a certain amount of money on stock on hand to be able to have demos in their store. So, that is obviously a much larger format, but then what is the end result? Because now you have all this inventory that needs to be liquidated at the end, or needs to be sold off for a certain price, or all of these different things. And, again, I understand why, from a consumer standpoint, someone would want something for less money.
Yeah.
But if that was the case, then great teachers would give away their lesson package, or the great golf courses would allow entry. And there is, the cost is associated with the experience that people get. And in many cases, I think that there are opportunities for places to offer lower cost fitting options. And we see it from brands, which I mentioned on the podcast, was Anesis. They have a questionnaire on their website. They're not direct to consumer. They have stores, but
it is
right.
If you go in there, it's completely consumer driven. So you pick your, how far you hit an iron, flex, your size, like literally your wrist to floor, and boom, you walk out with some golf clubs. Now that's consumer driven, but that's not the same as understanding what the difference is between all of these golf shafts, all these club heads, and how they all interact with each other. Because the decision tree, which is how I describe a fitter's mind would work, right?
Yeah.
You see someone, you see their dynamics, you immediately start filtering.
Yeah.
That filtering process is years and years of experience, and it's very, very difficult to recreate that, and that's why I stand on the side of the fact that professional knowledge is worth.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously, we agree, and Adam's take to the sort of everything has a cost sort of thing was, he ran this business, and he had a business, a club fitting business, and and his experience in his own business was actually they done more business when they gave the fittings away for free.
Okay.
And of course, when you open it up for free, you may convert 5 out of 10 fits into sales, whereas in here we maybe convert 3 out of 4 into sales. That's fine. We have a higher conversion rate. The likelihood is because people are investing their cash to come and do it. They
have the intention to not just kind of come and kick tires and stuff.
Exactly. And they're coming to pay for that service. And I don't think it's about pre-qualifying. We just value our time and expertise. I don't think it ultimately comes down to us trying to weed out the people who don't want to spend, but it naturally does that, has that effect because we believe our expertise and knowledge and everything, our experience has value. In the same way that one of the things I was thinking about, I mean, there's so many analogies and some are relevant, some are not, but you've got a lawyer, you get into some serious trouble. Are you going to trust a no-win, no-fee lawyer?
Yeah, that's true.
Or are you going to go to somebody who you're going to pay, who you can get get you a result?
Yes.
Ultimately, we're talking about getting a result.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be trusting a no-win, no-fee lawyer to get me that result.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's kind of my comparison to the we'll refund your fit fee if you buy, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But with all of these things, my take is there is room for free fittings.
Yes.
There's room for credit back your fitting fee if you purchase, and there's room at like Adam said, at the top of the pyramid, which is where I guess he's positioned us, and we would be positioned for a paid, non-refunded fee.
Yeah, and the analogy that I use is very similar to that of a suit. Whereas if you go to a tailor, right, and understanding that I guess margins are different in clothing industries and all of those different things, right? If you go to a tailor and get fit for a suit, like you're kind of going with the intention that you are going to be leaving with that, because that tailor's not giving you your measurements to potentially purchase online, and that's kind of where the
there's a difference
applies to. Where when you go in and you get your specs, that you could potentially order those golf clubs from anywhere, right? So then there still needs to be a value on the time of it's basically the information. Again,
well, that's what I agree with.
It's repeating this thing kind of
because you've given the person your IP for your time.
Yeah,
exactly.
They've charged the fit fee. They have actually had a transaction. If they choose to go and buy it at their home club because they want to support their home club, fine. Yeah. But at least the person's been compensated, and the business itself has been compensated for what took place. Not just, hey, here's a bunch of free information you can go use to make a way better deal for yourself, way better purchase, and benefit a different business. Yeah. Because ultimately, it is a business.
Absolutely. We'll dive into that, because I think, conceptually the discussion went that way the other day. Adam's kind of fighting for what he believes is right for the industry and the consumer. Whether the consumer thinks that's right, that's what he believes is right, fine. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and you debated back on that. But there is a business element to this, and Adam's business experience and my business experience, they differ a little bit in terms of the model of what works for the business. Ultimately, the economics have to stack up in order to keep the lights on, and that type of thing. So, but we are going to bring in a guest.
Yes, we got Brian LaRoche.
Brian Golfer, a great friend down in Jacksonville, Florida. Brian runs his own custom shop with his wife Mel. Do a great job, an incredible job down there. Brian's going to have an interesting take. He worked for Club Champion.
That's right, he did.
And he's obviously doing his own thing now. And I think he's been good to chime in on this online. So it'd be good to hear his thoughts.
Okay, Brian, we're going to try to bring you in now. Stand by, pal. There he is. He's in the green room.
Like the star that he is.
So Brian, what we'll be doing is, so that we don't have an echo situation, we'll speak into the microphone, and then when we're done, I'm going to mute ours so that we can hear you back, and vice versa. You don't have to do anything on your end, don't worry, but just so you're aware, and the viewers are aware why I'm constantly muting this and unmuting it. So without further ado, here's the man. How's it going?
What's up?
There he is.
Yeah, it's a Christmas tree behind me. It's Christmas here already.
So I'll come in a little bit.
You guys do in.
Are we on? Are we muted?
Oh man.
No, you're good.
Oh, we're good. We're good. Let's touch on probably the most important topic of the day. Not this club fitting nonsense about free. The Players' Cup winner over the weekend.
That's it. I should have the cup right here with me, right? But I didn't have time to prepare, go out and grab it, So with that being said, I'm a little ill prepared. But yeah, that was a good few days. That's why you're catching me after a few days of a lot of yelling, screaming, hooting, and hollering, and all that, drinking a little bit, here and there. Obviously, an amazing time, and we were lucky. I think when it was the back nine or heading into the back nine, I think we were probably a point. If all the matches ended, we might have ended up a point ahead. So my team turned it on for the third time in 4 years on the back nine to win.
Love it, yes. 17-11, I saw the final score. I was keeping tabs. I was following along in the stories yesterday.
It's intense.
Yeah, no, I love it. Absolutely awesome. That's what it matters, the back nine, and quite literally on Sunday.
On Sunday, yeah.
Yep. No, and that golf course. So we're moving it next year to Forest Dunes, which is it's a destination, in Michigan. But Reunion Resort, the Palmer course, for those that don't know, yes, it's like a resort course, but you have 3 sections of the course where you see your entire, like you see every team, So you're seeing people make putts, you're seeing people hit good shots, everybody's cheering. It's set up for that type of event or buddies trip. And then actually Forest Dunes has quite something very similar on the Dunes course with the final few holes. So it'll be a similar experience as far as that goes. But it's all about that back nine, and we did it.
Love it. Right, so let's get into it. So you saw, we know we've all seen the My Golf by Take. Club fittings should be free. What was the first thing that popped into your mind when you saw that?
Sure, could they should, but they can't. like that's the first thing that popped in my head was, well, yeah, that'd be awesome. I would, and first thing I did was kind of just DM'd, my Golf Spy, which I'll start off by saying anything, I've never had a bad conversation with a single person from my Golf Spy. So this isn't, for me, it's not that. I've had great conversation with everyone, obviously, including Adam. I think everyone in this industry should be getting along, and that we should all be helping each other. And some people have their own ways to try and help each other. And sometimes maybe it's kind of counterintuitive to what actually needs to happen here in this case, as far as I go. But I hit him up and I was like, I would if I could. I couldn't. I wouldn't exist right now if that was the case. And he said, I'll tell you how on Tuesday. And then I tuned in. RB, great work, man. Good to see you, by the way. Mel saw you on there and she was like, RB doesn't even look like he's there. He looks like he's just like digitally superimposed in the background. Ian and Matt. But I didn't really hear anything in there that made me go, yeah, fittings can be free and this is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah, that was a little bit of my take as well. I was kind of, I guess I was waiting for the punchline on that one, and it didn't seem to come as an industry solution. It seemed there was a My Golf Spy solution in that they're going to relaunch the fitting tool to fit 14 clubs, and it will be free, not $9. And that's a good solution for My Golf Spy to offer a fitting tool. But I'm like you, I didn't hear something on there. I mean, been doing this for 20 years, OEM, working, for independents for 12 years. I know the business model does not work. It does not stack up if you do it for free unless you're a high volume big box
it must
store.
Be a lot of volume.
It's
necessary.
volume. It's a volume thing, and that's like we were saying at the start. I mean, do you and I, do we want to be that volume shop that kind of it needs to be in order to make that jive? I mean, we've done buy one get ones, the BOGO stuff in the past. We know what the conversion rates are. Adam's run his business and he found a certain result. That doesn't mean it applies to the whole industry. That did not work for us. We maybe converted at 30-40%, given the same experience, same facility, same shaft, same fitters. And then the paid version was a conversion of about 70%. Yeah. So it didn't work for her business. We would need to really water down the quality of what we do in order to make
it viable,
that work.
Right?
Yeah. So I mean, maybe let's talk about the economics of kind of your business and what that would look like.
Well, for you, I know one, Ian, when you compare you and your experience, and then I'm newer into it, right? And then you go, we're just Brian Golf is a family-owned business at this point. That's what it is. It's my wife and I, and I'm the fitter, the builder, and she's the everything else. All the things that I don't want to do or have anything to do with is. As far as money goes, she's the first person who was like, yeah, that doesn't work. That's not going to work. I do the books. That's not going to work. But you're probably way more in tune just by default.
Sorry guys, hold on. I think we got a little
second. We'll just
little
get a
freeze.
little stall here.
Give him a second. If not, Brian, we might just get you to re-call in. Might have just had a moment.
Let me just send you a quick text, Brian.
Yeah, we lost him. Brian, if you're listening, just click the same link we gave you before and come back in. It probably just lost connection for a minute. Shouldn't be a big deal. I saw a good
some good comments.
Yeah, so one I'm curious if you guys want to just quickly touch on this is, so Steven's basically saying that when he's gone for free fittings, he feels pressure, like sales pressure, because obviously the shop giving a free fitting, they must convert these sales, or it's essentially, in their mind, a waste of their time.
Yeah.
I think that's a decent point. I think a person who's being compensated for their time, they're being paid already, they're going to be more interested in I think, helping that person with what they actually need versus kind of forcing a sale down their throat.
Absolutely.
But Steven, I think that's a good comment, bud.
Let's get Brian back in.
You're back.
Sorry, pal. We
just lost you briefly. I think we should be okay now, bud. So you go ahead, just where you were.
I don't know where I was, but what I was, I mean, one thing I was definitely saying is the fact that, you know, everything that you do, Ian, you know the numbers, you know, you've been there, you've done that over the years. So you can speak to that way more than I can. But I know as a new business, I mean, getting started, I can say that if we sold everything in our shop today, it's ours. Like, we haven't taken a dollar from anybody, which is part of why that, because of fitting fees and things like that. Like, it's now that much more important for me to get that, because I got to recoup some of the money I spent on Foresight, GC Quad, the sim, I mean, the demo matrix. We've got great partners, and obviously you know how that can go, but still I had to pay for, I mean, thousands and thousands of dollars, more money than anything that we ever thought when we were launching our business. We had an idea, but we didn't know, you know, it's like, man, we're going to spend $15K with this company, and then a week later we got to do it again with another company just to get, you know, product. Obviously supply chain has been kind of rough the past, you know, since we started our business in 2020. You know, you got to buy inventory if you ever want to expect to sell it. So we're not only just buying demos, but we're buying all this stuff. We got to recoup some of that money somehow. And it doesn't all come back in fitting fees, but I'll tell you, and most people I think will tell you, it keeps the lights on. And for us, our rent is way more than we ever thought we would. Do I wish that we could find a cheaper place or something like that? Yes, but we love where we're at in our community. We love our neighbors in our building. It's a beautiful building, but it's not cheap. And it also, I think, adds a little bit to the quality of what we do. The area it's in, our neighbors on a local level, and then the players traveling in, you know, like a player coming in Monday from Seattle, he's going to come and he's got a nice hotel right down the street. He's got, you know, restaurants galore right in the area. He can make a day out of it, you know, and a nightly trip and things like that. And then when he comes to me, because I don't have to stress, the fitting fee is the fitting fee. I don't charge when the fitting goes to 5 hours. I don't charge more for that. I don't do any, you know, it's like, dude, we're here to get you dialed in as best as we can. I don't care how long that takes. If you got to come back, you know, for somebody local, if you got to come back tomorrow, finish this off, we're going to do that. I'm not going to charge you more, you know? So it's like the full bag fitting is the full bag fitting. It never gets more expensive than that. And that's not because I believe that's what my time's worth. That's because that's just what I have to charge in order to be open and have the things, you know, the demo matrix that we have, the quality of product that we have, the launch monitor that we fit with, obviously with GC Quad. That was important for us as a new business going indoor as a fitting facility to have Foresight Sports GC Quad. From that point, like, I knew exactly, you know, now I got to get X amount of fittings, right? You start doing this, you go X amount of fittings, and boom, now we can afford this, right? And luckily we've been able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, we you know, obviously know our numbers inside out, back to front, and upside down at this point. I mean, when I was with TMPL back in 2010, I remember the owner of the license holder of TMPL and TaylorMade were separate at that point. TaylorMade have owned the rights to the labs. By that point, they did not. I remember when I first got into TMPL, I remember the owner saying, the fit fee is so important to our business that basically every year we see basically the revenue from fit fees and the profit that our business makes are basically 1-to-1.
Interesting.
It was basically exactly what he said. So he said, rather so almost flip reverse. So it's like the cost of the clubs actually cover the
overhead.
the overhead.
Yes.
And it's like the fit fee allows you to be then profitable.
So that makes sense.
And that was exactly what that model was. And I tell you what, it's not a million miles away
Really?
from this model as well.
Interesting.
As I followed it for the next 11 years, it's not a million miles away. But I don't know if it's kind of the same for you guys when you see the way things shake out. But in order to be profitable and provide the experience, because that's what we're trying to do, Brian. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Coming to visit you is an experience. It's a destination for somebody to take a day off and go do that. That's exactly the way people look at it.
It's not something you're doing every week, right? It's going to be sort of a once every few years things at most. And as you said, it costs money to recruit quality talent and have their time and expertise. You can't expect to do that for free unless you want to pay an absolutely absurd markup on clubs. Now, a lot of people will argue that there already is this absurd markup, but I think someone like you that has seen the numbers, and I used to work in a shop, there's not that great of a margin on a lot of stuff, and that's the difference. I think everyone thinks, you're buying something and you come here and just get raked over the coals. It's not like that.
Well, There's a reason they sell a lot of shirts.
Yeah, I mean, and also whether a club costs $500 or $700,
you're not making more on
the margin. The margin isn't changing. It's the passed on cost down the line. So
it's very, very narrow. And I think a lot of people think of like other industries where there can be 50, 60, 70% margins on other products. Golf is not like that at all. So I think it makes sense to have the people with the expertise providing the biggest service is to choose the right stuff. You can go spend money anywhere, but if it's the wrong stuff, you wasted all of that money to begin with.
Right. Matt kind of taken this over the weekend, or certainly my observation has been the client is actually more than happy to pay for a fitting because they feel like that ensures that if you're paying for something, you're being heard.
Yes. Right.
It gives them it empowers them to be heard in that environment. Would you agree with that?
1,000%. I think that's about my biggest takeaway from just, looking at all the comments as well on every post, any post, whether it was on My Golf Spy or whether it was on TXG or I have more guys that demand to pay me. You know what I'm saying? They demand, like sometimes, and look, I can do this. I'm a one-man band, when it comes to fitting and building. When somebody comes in and maybe it's just not their day, but I gave them, because I had the time, I gave them that hour to figure it out. Maybe that last half of it, I already knew as a fitter, like, we're not going to get any clubs today. We're not doing anything with clubs, but I'm going to help you out with your game a little bit. Hey, come back next week, go hit some balls on the range on Sunday or Monday. And then on Tuesday, let's do this again and see if you got something, and we'll see if we can get some clubs. And every time I'm like, you don't owe me anything today. I'll get you next time. Like, I'm going to get, you're going to pay me eventually. I know you will, because I'm going to eventually get you a set of clubs. I'm going to get you a driver, whatever it is. And 100% of the time they're like, no. I'm paying you now, and then I'll come back and I'll pay you then. And I go, no. When you pay for an iron fitting, you pay for an iron fitting. All right. Now that's that. But the customers, the clients, the players, they're all players to me. When somebody walks in, client, customer, whatever it is, they're a player. They're a golfer. They're just trying to get better. And they're willing to pay for that because they also want to be a part of what you're doing at the same time. We have that on such a local level where somebody's been following me on Instagram or Mel for 4 or 5 years, and then all of a sudden we have a golf shop, or they live down the street and they're just so excited to see a golf shop that does this in their town. They're like, no. I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure this is here 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever it may be, because the last few golf shops in and out of here, they didn't do what you did, and they're not here anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why you're doing as well as you're doing, and why people love coming to see you guys. It's a unique environment you've created. Your expertise speak for themselves. It's just it's a phenomenal thing that you guys are doing. So, I mean, everything you've just listed is why, if I was a consumer in your area, I'd be coming to see you for sure. So, we love it. Listen, thanks for coming on. I know it was a little bit of a last minute impromptu, but love to hear the takes, and I think lots of people are sharing the same thing, Bri. So I love it, pal.
Tell people where they can find you.
You can just Brian Golf on Instagram, briangolf.golf. It goes there. I tell everyone, because we have people all the time from Canada, and it should be like without question, right? Just go to you guys, right? As far as that goes. But every once in a while, just because of the history, we've got some people that have been around us. They go, "Hey, do you ship to Canada still?" And we unfortunately stopped. But when we stopped, that was right when y'all picked up a little bit more online as far as your online sales. So, just as you guys like to send people our way, we appreciate it so much. But anytime I get a Canadian that, is just trying to buy something online, whatever it may be, I ship them to you guys. Tell them, hey, just keep it in Canada. All right. I don't need your Canadian money. All right. We got American money.
Ours isn't worth anything anyway.
I know. I need to do one of those things like Mr. Wonder, where you live in Canada, but you collect an American paycheck, and all of a sudden you just get more money.
Love it. All right, pal. Have a great rest of the day. Give our best to Mel.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Keep it up.
Thanks,
buddy.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, good to get another industry. I mean, I think that's maybe the part of the why I think Brian was so good to get on there. The saying, it's that Spike Lee, it's the Spider-Man saying, isn't it? With great power comes great responsibility.
Right. Yeah.
When you have a platform, I always think about, who could you hurt if you say something?
Yeah.
And I just think, to be mindful of who you could potentially hurt. I don't like that. And Brian and Mel would be a prime example of someone you could potentially hurt if all of a sudden, people went, what, that's a really good idea. Fit fees should be free. I'm not paying for another fit fee again.
Yeah, a business like that starts to really take a hit.
Go on.
Yeah, and for the wrong reasons, right? It's just a lack of understanding, and I think you have to separate a big box model from a premium shop like yours and Brian's and others.
Yeah,
they are not the same place. We can make a million analogies about whatever you want. The reality is they operate very differently. Mm-hmm. So if you want the type of experience, as Brian was saying too, there's a lot to that. There's a loyalty to it. You trust the person's expertise. They've seen Brian on Instagram forever. They've seen you on YouTube forever. Yeah. This is what they want. So if it's like anything in sales. If it's worth it, you're willing to pay for it. If it's not worth it to you, then you probably aren't.
And again, I want to go back to, we are not saying fittings should all be paid for. I don't believe that's the case.
No.
I think unless a certain level of expertise and quality has been reached, you should give it for free. We give it away for free. If you're a trainee at TXG, the first 2 months that you're a trainee at TXG, the fitting is free.
Yep.
We just don't have that many trainees. Our guys are all qualified and things like that now, but we give it away for free because we believe until a certain point of expertise is reached, we don't believe the consumer should pay for that.
And it's a lot like what you would experience at any golf course. The junior pro or someone that maybe just got their card that mostly does junior lessons, he may do some adult lessons, but he charges a significantly lower rate. And the assumption is, okay, yes, I can get a deal, but I'm not getting the same level of expertise as the head teaching pro. Mm-hmm. So it's not really that different. And you're right, there are places to get a free fitting and you take a bit of a chance on it. And that's just the way it works.
Talking to a friend earlier about this, and he said the industry somewhat sorts itself.
Right.
You've got big box and it's free. You've got the companies who offer the money back with the fitting. Yep. They probably have supplementary revenue streams or something in there that kind of they feel like that attracts the client that they want because they're maybe offering some other things. And then you've got ourselves that we have one goal, one mission, one mantra at TXG. We are trying to be the best club fitters in the world.
Exactly.
That's the only thing in our mind.
Yep.
We are trying to be the absolute pinnacle of our industry. We have a long way to go in our own minds. It's always us versus us in that competition, in that race. But we know that there's elements of TXG that we have to invest in. We have overhead and staff that tallies close to $500,000.
I think people underestimate the overhead generally speaking.
There's over $500,000 of salaries and things like that is that are not fitters, they're not, on the front line generating revenue. That's the experience. We put that in our name for a reason, Tour Experience Golf. And, I know, again, if Adam was sitting here, he'd go, well, this isn't about Tour Experience Golf. I get that.
Yeah, but part of it is because there are other shops that have a similar goals and model. And that's, a lot of people want to come to a place like this. That's just the way
Definitely.
it is.
Diversity in offerings is a good thing. Free fittings, credit if you purchase and paid, it's all fine.
Yeah.
I believe it's all fine.
Yeah, definitely.
So
anything else, guys, you think we missed? RB?
Did we miss anything?
No, I don't think so. I think we covered it. It was great to talk to Brian.
Always good to talk to Brian. Yeah,
absolutely.
Always really good to see Brian. And listen, I think, again, like Brian said, we don't have an agenda against my golf bag. We just disagree on this take. Yeah. We're just discussing that because it's in our wheelhouse. We're in the industry. I think that's all we're coming at it from. And the guys do a great job. I'm not sure how much, I know it's Adam's take. I'm not sure how much the take is shared around the.
It's true. There's a team of people there, that's fair enough.
That's who knows, but Adam's the leader of that ship, and that's his belief, which is absolutely fine. Yep.
Nothing wrong with having an opinion, and people can watch everything and make up their own mind.
Yeah, I know the consumer will ultimately decide. So I think it's good to debate.
So if you haven't listened to it, No Putts Given.
No Putts Given.
You can find it on
their pod.
Where you can find most
everywhere.
Podcasts. Yeah, basically everywhere. They have it on YouTube as well. And don't forget that we have a podcast as well called The Build Shop that I host with myself and Mike Marty Savish, who helps run the Build Shop team and does fitting at one of our other locations. So be sure to check that out too.
Check it out.
Absolutely.
Check it for sure. Okay. We have 30 minutes. Yeah, about 30 minutes.
Let's just take some questions.
You guys,
thanks, RB.
Time for you guys to get selfish and let's make it about you now.
Yeah, let's chat about whatever you want.
Absolutely. Let's dive on in there. Let's see. Jacob's saying, Ian, how are the shoulders feeling? Loved your workout video. Yeah, posted. I'm actually going to make a bit of a thing, a kind of theme of this, of sharing workouts and golf specific training. I said to someone on Instagram last night, if it inspires one person to maybe think about how they apply themselves in the off season to their game and training and different ideas of ways in which you can maybe create some speed and things like that. That would be a great thing, but hopefully it'll impact a little bit more than one.
I'm sure it will.
It's good fun. I'm certainly enjoying the process of working with a team. Michelle at Swing Lab on kind of the biomechanics.
Right.
I had a brilliant session with Michelle on Friday, Matty. I've been working on some things, some right elbow related things, and my golf swing tends to go a little bit in internal rotation. So what Michelle basically done when she tested me, she's like, so she had me lie on my side. I was holding a small dumbbell, and she was like, pull your arm down. She's like, what do you feel? And actually she put resistance against my elbow. I would feel all the tension on my deltoid and not on my lats. So basically, when I try that motion, I fire from up here and
versus
not from down here.
Okay.
So like a lat pull down is that move. I need more lat pull downs and less
kind of this
delt stuff.
This move. Yeah.
So basically, everything I was trying to do my golf swing, I couldn't do because my muscles don't fire the way I need them to in that sequence.
Interesting.
So it was brilliant. Again,
that's really smart. Yeah.
There's one thing getting lessons. There's the other thing, obviously training specifically to get stronger, faster. That's all good.
Yeah.
But you've got to train your muscles to function the way that you're
trying to do it in your lesson. Yeah, it's a good point. Otherwise, you're just fighting. And Tyler said that quite a bit to me when I was down south. And Larry, we have these conversations. You can't just expect a motion that your body's not capable of to just pop up in a lesson if you can't do it just in a demonstration like you did in your session. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Yeah, you can't force it. That's for sure.
Bandit's saying he fired his muscles. They've left the building. Bandit's got no more muscles left.
Severance? Any severance there, Bandit, or just straight out the door?
I think he just showed them the door.
See you never.
Yeah, exactly. What else have we got in there? Might we see a 2022 new level iron review? Brian's asking. 100% you will.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Eric from New Level. Huge day for him yesterday. His first tour player, Stephen Alker, won on the Champions Tour with New Level irons.
Very good.
I can't imagine how excited. I mean, working for TaylorMade, we always get excited when Keimer won the PGA or somebody would win, and you always felt proud. I cannot imagine being the owner operator of a small business like that, and somebody wins a major professional tour with your product.
It would be pretty much the kind of the pinnacle of your year, wouldn't it?
It really would. It really would. So it's cool. Kaiser Soze, thoughts on T100S versus Apex Pro 21? What's our thoughts on those, Matty boy? You've hit them both.
So the Apex Pro 21 versus T100S. I would say feel-wise, I would give it to T100S for the most part. Apex Pro might be a little bit more forgiving, would you say? But it's hard to say.
I mean, I can see, I can see that. Obviously the cup face and that type of thing. I just think there's so much tungsten in the sole of that T100S that
they hide it nicely.
They hide it so nicely. I think they're both actually, phenomenal in the forgiveness stakes. Obviously stronger lofted on the T100S versus the Apex.
Yep.
1 degree stronger lofted in the T100S. So, I think.
It's a tough one. You try them both in the fit, right? Wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would try them both in the fit. I think you're probably going to find 7 or 8 players out of 10 would lean towards the T100S.
That's fair. Yeah.
Because of obviously both great performers, but the sound.
Yeah, the sound is so good.
Yeah.
They sound great, and the Apex Pro in our testing has been a little bit on the clicky side, and that does bother some people. So fair enough.
Definitely. Are we going to see that Groove It brush action anytime soon? We will, I think, in the wedge. We've got some. Actually, we're going to drop it in on this little live. There is a new bracket coming. We're going to do a wedge bracket. It was requested. We like the idea of it.
Yeah.
We enjoy wedge testing. We're coming up with some different ideas to how we can do it, but there is a late 2021 wedge bracket coming. Now, obviously, we're right around the season for new product. We're doing it for some, again, it's all the bracket's always a bit of fun.
Yeah, it's mostly for fun.
We know SM9's coming. We know all these other irons.
But it will be a good indication of what you might want to grab once the prices dip down a bit with the new stuff.
Whatever companies are going to call their new product for next year. It should be good.
Yeah. All right. What else we got here?
Mad Dad wants to put in more comments. Slow mode is killing him.
Sorry, Mad Dad.
We're trying.
My eyes can't process enough comments to not have it on. My eyes will explode.
It is tough. Noah, great name, Noah, ended up cracking his Speed Zone head the other day. Should he buy a Speed Zone or go Rad Speed, Matty?
I think you could go Rad Speed. I think they had enough incremental improvements.
Yeah.
As long as you're not paying a crazy amount more, which I don't think you would be.
Absolutely.
To me, when we tried Rad Speed, I think there was enough justification that's what I would do. I would pay for the new one. Hopefully not more than $100 more or something, but treat yourself, Noah. Treat yourself.
Treat yourself, my good man. Freddie saying he has the same muscle issue as myself. Please share what you're doing about it in caps. Sure, I'll happily do that. We'll do that on Instagram.
Nice.
I will share. I'll share what Michelle prescribed for me. Some of the exercises to fire up the lats, so that on the downswing, you can get that club, get that right arm pulling a little bit more. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, happy to do that over on Instagram.
Daniel is saying that he's heard the Ping driver, and I'm going to say Ping drivers in general, are usually one of the straightest drivers on the market. Why would that be?
That is primarily because the MOI is so much higher.
Yep.
So it's such a stable driver. mostly because of that. Now, obviously, the fitting advancements of their loft sleeve and the weighting system, their CG adjusters, they call it.
Quite good, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So
I hear that a lot too.
Tremendous.
Like guys at my club, I think the perception of ping is so good in that sense. They always think, well, if I ever really just want to hit the ball the straightest, I'm going to get a ping. And I think a lot of the time that can be the case.
Definitely. Anders, I didn't have shorts on yesterday. They're not worth a follow. It was just the exercise I was doing. Tend to hike my shorts up a little.
He's got to have some mobility in those legs if you're going to do those stuff.
What else we got? I saw a few coming in there. Jacob's asking, is anyone else's thumb too short for most gloves? Do you find the thumb a little too long in your glove?
I'm generally okay, but Jacob, depending on where you shop, they do make a cadet size. FJ does it, and I'm sure they're not the only ones. That's worth a shot. You're not the only one.
It's good advice.
I know tons of people. I know people in other industries, not even golf, guys that work with their hands, contractors and stuff, and cadet sizes is a thing in a lot of other glove spaces. So try that out before you give up. Otherwise, you're just trying to hope to find a manufacturer that makes them short, which is kind of not likely.
Yeah,
the proportions will be a little bit off.
Daniel Rodriguez is asking, what can you do fitting-wise to help keep the driver face more open?
That's a good question.
So obviously there's the stock answers, which is loft sleeve, setting the head a bit open, so go up in loft. So for example, the call it the tailor-made sleeve, the most adjustable from a face angle perspective. Start if you like your driver around 8.59, go up to 10.5 and open that head up. So you get a 4-degree open face, but you get the loft down to 8.5. Obviously, you can use adjustable weight.
Yep, toe weight helps.
Yep, you can use hot melt. Again, rotational influence and CG influence. So, if you do hit it a little in the toe, it doesn't come slinging back over.
What about shafts? What shafts do you like to keep the face as square as possible?
So you can go a little bit stiffer in the shaft. That can help. Heavier and shorter often helps as well.
That's right.
For the miss to the right. So I think that's maybe the unconventional one is the heavy shorter one that most people maybe don't sort of think of on that front.
Yeah, a little bit more unusual.
Yeah.
All right. Josh is asking, what's a good drill to help neutralize club path? That's a great question. Would you say we refer him to the video you did with Caux about hitting a fade? That would help a lot, eh?
Yeah. So go to TXG pull fade.
Pull fade. Okay.
Pull fade was the video title of that one.
Yeah. I think that's your best bet.
Was good, wasn't it?
Yeah. I did it for a while too, a little bit.
Yeah. When you were struggling with some turning over and some into-out paths.
And I'm sure it helped me, and I hadn't hit a fade in months, and I was able to. So, yep, Josh, that would be a good one to take a gander at.
Definitely. I saw this one from Matt Klein a couple of times. Is it normal to add 1/2 inch in length when transitioning from steel to graphite? If so, how does this with flattening by 1 degree, impact feel, ball flight direction, etc.?
So do you go longer when you use graphite instead of steel?
Yeah, so typically OEMs will offer a length at steel and a length at graphite. Graphite's typically a little bit longer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
If it was the same from a weight perspective, generally obviously graphite's quite a bit lighter than steel.
Yep.
So the swing weight would get super light, so you can offset that loss of swing weight with a little bit longer shaft.
Right. And then he's saying flatten the lie so you don't have an upright effective lie.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so you can definitely do that. But I mean, obviously a longer club's a little bit harder to control, generally speaking.
That's true.
If you are normally prescribed standard length and you go 1/2 inch longer, you can have some challenges, obviously, with the ball flight consistency. In terms of impact feel, that's going to be individual. That's person to person. Direction. Yeah, I mean, as long as you're addressing the lie angle, like you said, obviously going longer does make the club play more upright, so you're adjusting the lie angle to compensate. But also, you want to have a look on GC Quad. Dynamically, is anything different happening?
Right. Yeah, that's true. It may not be, right?
It may not be. Yeah, we don't swing every club the same way. A short club may be delivered one way and a long club another way. So it can be slightly different.
Yep. Whisker, we're going to shout out to our pal
LC.
LC. He posted a video today, so he has been not posting for a few months, and he is making a triumphant return. So if you don't subscribe to Larry Chung Golf, please do.
Please.
And go see what he posted today, because I haven't seen it yet. I saw that he posted that he's posting, but I don't know what he posted.
I saw exactly the same thing, sent him a little emoji of the hands up.
Good to see.
Good to see you back.
He's back at it.
He's been a busy boy. He's been, focused. He's got a lot of players that are playing.
He's doing lots of different stuff.
He's got lots and lots of stuff. So, the winter time is a little bit easier to get some content out.
Yeah, and he does it all on his own too, so it can be time consuming. All right, what else we got here?
Let's see. Brandon saying having fun with an indoor golf league here in what's that, Minnesota?
I think so. It's not Maine, I don't think. Although, to be honest, the weather in both is probably.
I know.
Brandon, that's good to hear.
We are launching. We're actually launching our own TXG.
If you're reading this, hello TXG.
Hello.
Brandon. Yeah, tell us what you were saying. What's the deal with that?
We're launching a little winter league. So I thought about trying to chat with Foresight about trying to make it an online winter league.
Okay. Yeah.
And I need to dive into it.
It seems like it's possible.
Yeah, it does seem like it's possible. So we're gonna basically start up a league Thursday night. It's going to be the little in-house league where we all get together. Good team bonding for us, and get together with everyone. We're always buzzing about past each other and this and that. Whereas we'll get a couple hours and enjoy some food and in a lighter environment. So I'm looking forward to that. But it would be good if we were able to have some kind of online leaderboard or something
it
like
would
that,
be good.
or challenge people, and so
we'll look into that.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible to make like a custom competition or league where people can, in a time window, participate in it. We will see.
What does that mean? Lordy, Ian looking like a whole snack today. What does that mean?
It's complimentary.
What's that?
Just generally, to be honest, it's generally, I thought it was more a compliment for ladies, but I think it just means you're just looking great.
Looking good today.
Looking good.
Who's that from?
That's from Peter.
Peter, my man. Right back at you, Pete.
Peter, you're also looking like
also
a whole
looking
today. Although we can't see you, we know it to be true.
We trust you're looking well.
What are we talking about?
That's good. Brian's got the TXG tingles.
Nice.
When he thinks about what videos are planned for this week.
I'm glad to hear it. You got the fizz, Brian? We are planning the following. We have already filmed a ball test.
I'm such a dummy.
What?
Well, I didn't have my mic on for the
well, we'll still film that. Don't worry.
We've filmed it. We have filmed it. The results are in. We just have to do a little.
We'll just have to film it again. Basically.
Yeah, basically.
So the first thing we did was a Wilson staff model golf ball test. Was quite interesting. You'll see that. You will see sub 70 799 irons.
Yep, super game improvement irons, and super game.
A lot like the Cleveland Halos.
Category, yep.
You're going to see a rundown of 3 or 4 of the newest shafts coming on the market, driver shafts. And
yeah, that'll be a good one.
That'll be a great one. And fingers crossed, and I really hope to get it going, a GC3 review. We're trying.
We tried it for next week, but we tried it for last week, and we just couldn't
get it to connect. I don't know why.
Couldn't get it.
It's the simplest step, and it just wasn't working.
But
anyway,
it wouldn't connect.
We'll hopefully get on the horn with them and get that sorted out. So that's what you can expect, Brian and others.
Anders wants a TXG bloopers video at the end of the year.
Oh boy.
I know, could you imagine?
Most of them are not fit for consumption.
Aye.
We'll lose our YouTube partner status.
I know.
Maybe one of these days, though, Anders, we can find a way to compile some PG-13 rated bloopers that aren't too bad. It's usually if someone messed something up and then I yell something at myself that's less than complimentary.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
DJ Miko wants righty Matt to take on lefty Matt.
Oh God, wouldn't that be
Imagine.
a way to mess myself up? I think that would be rather painful to switch shot by shot by shot. I could put up a score and then switch and shoot another score, but going back and forth would be a little bit weird. A little bit weird. Alex wants to know how we can get TXG gear. Alex, go to the website, txg.ca, or sorry, txgstore.ca. .com. txgstore.com.
Yeah, we have new hoodies launching in the next couple of weeks. You'll see them actually very, very soon. What else do we have on there? We do have some an announcement on the Galvin merch. We're just finalising that.
Good.
What else have we got coming?
Well, was there some hat chatter at one point? I heard about a little hat chatter.
I think
more
Mikey
G4
and
hats
RB
coming?
are organising some hats.
Okay,
Yep. Potentially some winter headwear, which is awesome.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds great.
Kevin is asking, is there an opportunity to do an internship at TXG to learn about fitting? Absolutely, Kevin. We do take on interns in the start of the season around probably April time and kind of help us through the busy months, and great opportunity to come and learn from our team. And we absolutely love having interns in. A lot of the time our interns end up employees,
being your employees.
Young Patrick and Brandon.
That's right.
I think almost every intern we've had actually has ended up
doing some
working for us, which is great.
Shoot an email to who for that? You?
Send an email to if you're interested in the intern position or an intern position or any position. We're actually going to be this is a good one to put out. We're actually going to be hiring fitters very, very soon.
Nice.
So we'd love resumes for people who would love to be a fitter for TXG. You need to have a Canadian passport. You need to have eligibility to work in Canada. I've had lots of great kind offers of people in the US and
but
overseas.
You're not in a position to relocate people right now.
We're not going to relocate, and it's a process. I mean, when I went through my own labour market opinion sort of application, it took 9 months, and it takes a long time.
Thing.
It's a tough one. So
it's a thing.
Definitely, let us know on that.
Sweet.
So send it to any applications to. Just do it to info@txg.ca.
Perfect.
That's nice and
it
simple.
will be sorted to the appropriate person.
I will let Rosanna know to look for those.
Lovely. Okay, let's take a couple more. We're just about getting close to our usual hour. Let's get one here. No complex build question. So, should a tall player with 1-inch overlength clubs consider extra stiff shafts if I swing? So swing speed on the 7-iron is about 87.
No, I would say you're more likely a stiff. Your speed is often is kind of coming from the length of the club as well as obviously your speed.
Get a bit of extra speed, right?
Yeah. So for a couple of miles an hour between club head speeds, that's a regular set length, 84 miles an hour or something along those lines, 83.
Yep.
We would never consider that X flex.
You'd be comfortable in stiff there.
Yeah. Stiff is
and probably over length. Extra stiff shafts are usually heavier, and you probably don't want to have an even heavier shaft.
Be a burden,
right? Yeah,
definitely.
All right, grab something you like there, lad.
Aaron is asking, what would be the expected gain in distance if you could take 1,000 RPMs of spin off the driver? That's a great video.
Great video. You could probably do it for me today because I'm excess spinning.
We could do that. How to lose excess spin in the driver. I think that's a great little video. Okay, let us know if you guys would like us to film that as a little video on there. If anyone's out there spinning the driver too much, how you like us to talk around.
What can you expect to see percentage-wise gained? Yeah, it's a great topic.
That would be really good.
I think the answer would be a good amount.
Yes,
Aaron.
I would say depending on your speed, Aaron.
Yeah,
that's a big factor. How fast you are, but say you're 100 miles an hour. Let's use that as a ballpark. Taking 1,000 RPMs is probably going to get you somewhere in the region of about 12 to 16 yards.
super significant.
It's a lot.
It's a full club in, less into the green.
Definitely.
All right, yeah, quite a few people saying they would like to see that.
Yep.
Okay, one more.
One more. Let's see.
I might have to scroll back up a little bit here, but
Truth of the matter. Porsche 997s should be free.
then no one would want one because everyone would have one.
I know. Tiger Jam has 2 5-irons in the bag. One's a blade and the other one is a T100S. Thoughts? Fine.
That's
absolutely fine. One of our great friends, great clients, always has the premier TXG bag of the year every year. Rick Kennedy.
Oh yeah,
Rico
sure does.
Rico carries 2 6-irons for that
right.
exact same reason, because basically they gap perfectly for him.
So the stronger 6 is basically a 5.
Exactly.
Kind of
So
yeah. No,
that is no problem to have a blade and a cavity if that's what you want, if that's what fits you the best.
love so. Good.
Definitely. Okay, big shout out to Mikey, to TXG and Mike for helping me with a wedge build that couldn't happen anywhere else. Love to hear that, guys. That's the purpose of the online store. We do have we do have the ability to build things our way, frequency match, whether it's looking for a specific shaft that's not in a OEM matrix, puring, whatever that might be. We're always open, txgstore.com.
Yeah. Send in your requests whenever.
Yeah, we are going to be actually launching a new tour department.
Oh, cool.
Part of the online store.
For custom stuff?
Yeah, custom is kind of custom as we know it, but then there's custom. There's kind of tour truck only type stuff.
I like
very
that.
unique, very limited. Shaft supplies and heads and
People
stuff
like
that.
that.
So we are working on the TXG tour department as we speak.
Ooh. Well, that is exciting.
Yeah.
I'm sure many of you will be doing some browsing into the wee hours of the night on that site.
Max Potter saying, hi, love the channel. I have an Oban Devotion shaft in my 3-wood, love it. Can I assume I would like it in my driver too? Not as a given, but definitely worth a try. Hazardous RDX Blue was a shaft I love in fairway woods. I didn't like it in a driver,
That's
just
right.
personally. So I think it's safe to assume it's worth a try, not a given that you'll love it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
So Big Al hit a very long drive on one leg. He said a number.
Some boy, isn't he?
And he asked me if I would do the same. I'll give it a shot.
How far did his go?
I think it went 321 yards.
I mean, honestly.
So,
His
you know what I was
hand
thinking?
speed
His
is-
hand speed's a joke.
his
I
hand
don't
speed
have
is
any hand speed, so
ridiculous.
I probably won't be able to do it. We can do a short. RB can make a little short out of it. It'll take 60 seconds because I'll either be able to do it or it will go nowhere.
Let's do it.
Let's do that.
Let's do it. What's that?
Or I'll just blow my MCL, ACL, and patella and everything else all over the show.
You've got all
Career ruined.
You've got all winter to rehab. It's fine.
Oh yeah, great. That's what I want to do this winter instead of a foot in the air going, oh.
Down
no.
goes the channel.
Yeah. Okay. Great live.
Yeah, really good guys. Really good. Someone coming in there. Ryan is saying shout out to Mikey, and I'll add in RB as well because he does his own Q&A, but shout out to Mike for his always helpful IG Q&As.
Yeah, he does them every weekend, doesn't he?
Does them every week. RB does his on a Thursday, sometimes a second day.
Usually Thursday nights.
Nice.
Normally Thursday nights you can
And Mikey Sunday.
RDS Barath. Mikey is Mike TXG. Mikey normally does his Sunday
Night, right? Yeah.
You better get him on a Sunday. A Saturday's normally topped up with red wine. You probably don't want his opinions on a Saturday night because they'll be
Abrasive.
X-rated. So,
But good to hear that people are enjoying those.
People
Always
love them. It's great, and again, I mean, not one to kind of we're going to ease away from the subject of free fittings, but
Yeah, true.
I think it's always great to add free value where you can, right? And that's something the boys do, and at times we all certainly give our time towards that side of thing because there's people who might be in a remote location, a bit stumped on a question, how do you navigate this, that, and the other, don't have a big box store or a custom shop or anything.
Yes, or anything.
So they need the resource of Instagram or YouTube.
It's also good, I think, for the fitting team. It keeps your knowledge up to snuff to keep answering questions like that. So
Absolutely.
I think it's beneficial.
Yeah. John is saying, Ian, when is your next Insta Q&A? Yeah, I mean, I'll try and get back into a habit. Maybe I'll pick another day. The boys are doing a Thursday and a Sunday. Maybe I'll drop in a little, Tuesday or something like that.
Yeah, sure. Great idea.
We do our Mondays here, so you can always find us and ask us questions on here. But I would happily drop in another day in there. So
lovely.
Would be good.
All right.
Jimmy Fan hybrid update. Ian, yeah, loving the Callaway UW. I'm not really in kind of the mode to be thinking too much about what my equipment's doing. I'm working and swing stuff.
Yeah, I don't think you need to be fiddling with too much equipment.
I'm not there.
And we're not playing golf right now.
No.
We're prepping for next season.
Exactly. So even our little Thursday night winter league will be lots of drill swings and won't
tomahawks.
Won't be trying to do anything related to shooting the best score I can. Be working on it.
I'm going to keep my ping 5 wood, 7 wood length, 5 wood, 6 wood for now. But we will tinker more with the Apex UW in the next few weeks. But again, it's not a rush because it's winter now.
I'm trying to get Matty a Ventus Blue 8X for his Callaway UW. So not the easiest shaft in the world to find, but we're going to get some tour stock, hopefully from Fuji. Ooh. Build that up for Matty. The red works so good for me. I think you need a little bit. Of a stiffer profile than myself.
Okay. Well, that will be. Stay tuned for that, guys.
Edward, you're just catching my eye there with the last one. Nobody's time is free, but will you make more money? The answer is no. If you're a big box store, you might. You perhaps might, and you look at PJ Superstore. That's why they offer free fits and they offer a paid service. They offer both.
It's true. They can capture both markets.
So they capture both because they believe there's consumers with two different mindsets. That's fine.
That's fine.
The answer is our business would not. So
that's fair enough.
Our good pal Johnny Hutzler's in there. Great video.
Oh,
Thanks for representing the voice of all us who are trying to do nothing more than to help people play better, enjoy this beautiful sport.
It's lovely.
And you do that, Johnny. You're another Brian LaRoche, another gem that's just doing great work. You're another one who absolutely understands the need for revenue, whether it's and you don't want it to be at the expense of trying to force a fit to keep the lights on. If somebody walks away, Johnny, from your fit, I know you'd be more than happy to go, you know what, your driver's working for you, great, no problem at all.
Or come back another time,
whatever it is. So allows you to do what you're doing.
What state is Johnny in again?
Johnny's in Virginia.
Okay, so if you're in Virginia, then look him up. Swing Fit Studios.
Swing Fit Studios. John also has a YouTube channel. Releases some great videos on his YouTube channel. So subscribe to John and definitely catch his takes. He's got some really, really good takes on that.
Fantastic.
Okay, love it.
All set?
I think we're good. I don't see anything really catching my eye at the end. Guys, that was a bit different today, doing obviously the live portion.
Little interview.
Where we talked to Brian, and obviously we shared our thoughts on the fit fee debate. I think on our end, it's closed, for us. I think
what else is going to be said that hasn't been said, right?
Guys, you guys have spoken. You're the ones that matter in this. You value experience, you value expertise, and in the right environments, in the right cases, you'll pay for it. You're happy. You are happy and want to pay for it. And if you're not, you're happy to also go to a demo day.
Yes.
You're happy to go to a big box store, try different things. If
a bunch of times, right?
Go try different things, and there'll be maybe some fitters in there, maybe some young aspiring fitters who you're helping them as well. I looked at it like when I was a demo rep and I went club to club around Scotland. I was getting great experience working as many people as I possibly could. It was great for me to do that.
Yeah.
Over time, though, you kind of you dial in that skill set, and then at some point you're going to offer something of value.
Yeah. Real world experience is pretty priceless, isn't it?
And lots of great support for Ryan and representing
he did a great job.
TXG and
Great job.
and the part of the industry that believes that fit fee has value as well. So yeah, great job to RB, and thank you to everyone who supports him as well.
Absolutely.
Good stuff.
Okay.
Guys, we will see you next Monday.
Yes, you
lots
will.
Lots of good stuff coming this week.
Yes, lots of good stuff coming this week.
Good stuff, guys. Have a great week. Thanks for joining us.